picture.
Members, Dr. Cruz, district staff, members of the public. The time is 6:01 p.m. This is the 22nd day of January 2025, and I call this regular meeting of the Board of Trustees for United Independent School District to order. May the trustees please announce their presence for the record.
Rudy Gonzalez, present.
Alisa Flores Oliveros, present.
Ramiro Vélez III, present.
Javier Montemayor, present. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with Texas Open Meetings Act. Agenda item number 2, Pledge of Allegiance and the honor of the Texas flag. Can everybody please rise? Thank you. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible. All right. Again, good evening, everyone. This is the portion of the meeting where we will begin our recognitions. So please bear with us while we step aside and they remove the table so we can start recognizing our students. Thank you.
Good evening, Dr. Cruz and honorable board members. I'm Brenda Medina Moreno, Public Engagement Specialist here with United ISD. Well, this month we are proud and happy to celebrate you, our board members. It is National School Board Recognition Month, and we want to express our sincere gratitude for all you do for our faculty, students, and staff at United Independent School District. To show all of you how much we appreciate you, we've prepared a special video for you, and we hope you enjoy these special messages. I don't know if you want to come around so you could see the special video that we've prepared for you.
Thank you for your unwavering commitment to United ISD. Your service is truly appreciated. Happy School Board Recognition Month.
This program is a life-changing experience. It opens doors to exciting career paths.
We're grateful for the dedication of our board members.
Hi, Mom. Congratulations. You're off to a great start.
We support you and we love you. And we appreciate all you do. Thank you, Mommy.
From our hearts to your screen, thank you for supporting the Graphics Arts program.
On behalf of all the students,
our hats off to you!
A todo el departamento del board les agradecemos todo lo que han hecho por nosotros, de parte del Departamento de Food Production.
We just want to say that we appreciate everything you do for us, advocating for the special education teachers and as well as the special education students.
Yay! Yay!
Hi, Mom. You're amazing. Keep on doing great things. We love you.
I love you, Mom.
We love our USF Academy. It's programs like these
that prepare us.
Dad, your dedication to us, the students, the staff, and the community itself is truly inspiring.
You're passionate about every decision you make. Love you, Dad.
We are happy.
We traveled all across Texas and Washington, D.C. to compete.
All thanks to your support. We'll cry.
Hey, Dad, we love you so much. You are such a great role model.
You've been on the board for more than 10 years. I'm proud of you, and I love you. Thank you for all the hard work you've done for UISD.
On behalf of the custodial staff, we'd like to say, muchas gracias.
The dual language program is thriving at UISD. Thank you!
Congratulations, Dad. Can't wait to see what you have in store for the summer.
You got this.
We love you, Dad.
The robotics team is on fire, winning all across Texas with your support, putting UISD on the map.
You are a positive voice to our children.
Thank you, board members.
Hi, Dad. You've earned this and you've worked so hard, not only for us as a family, but also for your entire school district.
You rock, Daddy. We love you.
You're strong advocates for education.
This is the Automotive Technology Program, and with your help, we're able to place students in real-world scenarios.
Happy Board Recognition Month!
As we drive with heart, your commitment and support fuels our journey.
From the Blue Ribbon Campus, Case Elementary, we'd like to say, thank you, UISD board members, for all that you do.
Appreciate you!
We hope you enjoyed this special video and the messages, not only from everyone across the district, but also your children. Some heartfelt messages there. This evening, we also have some students that are going to be joining us. They're going to be presenting you with a small token of appreciation. And again, on behalf of faculty, staff, and students, thank you all so much for your dedication and time serving on the UISD board.
Thank you once again to our school board for everything that you all do for United ISD. Good evening, my name is Rebecca Cosmorales. I'm the Associate Superintendent for District Administration and Student Services. It is with great pride and excitement that we gather here today to recognize an incredible group of individuals who embody dedication, generosity, and community spirit. These are the parents that have gone above and beyond in contributing their time and energy to our schools and our students. At United ISD, we understand and appreciate the critical role that parents play in the success of our district. Their selflessness, commitment, and willingness to collaborate make an immeasurable difference in creating a positive and enriching environment for our students. To honor their efforts, we proudly announce our Most Valuable Parent MVP program, where we spotlight our outstanding parent volunteers. And today we're thrilled to present our MVP honorees for January. Beginning with Ms. Sandra Llano from Ruiz Elementary. Mike Martinez from Killam Elementary. Alexa Luna from Clark Elementary. Gabriela Treviño from Salinas Elementary. And on her, accepting her award is Principal Mr. Rodriguez. And Rosario Valdez from United South High School. Congratulations once again to all our MVPs for January. We thank you for your unwavering support of our schools and our UISD community.
Good evening and happy Board Appreciation Month. Thank you for all that you do for us. Good evening, board members, Board President Montemayor, board members, Dr. Cruz, and members of the audience. For the record, my name is Jerry Rodriguez, Director of Fine Arts for United. A great pleasure to present one of our middle school bands that have been recognized at the national level. The Foundation for Music Education yearly recognizes bands, choirs, and orchestras from across the United States for their excellence in music performance. The Mark of Excellence project gathers entries from throughout the United States and provides valuable feedback for all entrants. A unique competitive environment is created which allows ensembles to compare their performance quality to other outstanding groups from across the country. The top 25% of entrants are recognized as national winners. Congratulations to the Elias Herrera Middle School Honors Wins under the direction of Director Jorge Garcia and Assistant Director Megan Rodriguez for being recognized as a national winner in the band division. Principal is Carlos Martinez. Congratulations once again, Elias Herrera Middle School Honors Wins. Moving on to our high school band recognitions. The next group we would like to recognize is the Lyndon B. Johnson High School Marching Band. This year, the LBJ Band received a first at the Ohio Marching Band Contest and qualified for the Area G Marching Contest. They are under the direction of Head Director Mr. Jose Valenzuela and Assistant Directors Rene Peña, David Ortiz, Kevin Gonzalez, and Gabriel Rodriguez. Principal is Armando Salazar. Congratulations to the Lyndon B. Johnson Wolf Band.
You're good. Go ahead. Congratulations once again to Lyndon B. Johnson High School Mighty Wolf Band. The next group is the United High School Marching Band. This fall, the United High School Band earned straight first divisions in Region 14 UIL Marching Band Contest. They were an area qualifier and an area finalist in the UIL Area G Marching Contest. They are under the direction of Head Band Director Samuel Yort and Assistant Directors Michael Valdez, Amaris Contreras, and Gilbert Garcia. Color Guard Instructor is Harley Gutierrez. Principal is Jessica Salazar. Congratulations to the United High School Mighty Longhorn Band. Phone gets it. Phone gets it. You catch it all? You catch it all? Yeah. Congratulations, United High School.
recognitions for them.
The final group presented this evening is John B. Alexander High School Marching Band. This fall, the Alexander High School Band earned straight first divisions at the UIL Region 14 Marching Band Contest. They were an area qualifier, finalist, and champion at the UIL Area G Marching Contest, qualifying them to participate in the UIL State Marching Band Contest, which was held at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. They are under the direction of Head Band Director Joshua A. Martinez and Assistant Directors Ricardo Fuentes, Jose C. Martinez, Armando Blanco, Adam Jenkins, and Camden Seidenstricker. Elite Dazzler Dance Team Director is Kendra Peña. Interim Principal is Elvira Gaona. Congratulations to the John B. Alexander High School Bulldog Band. Congratulations once again to John B. Alexander High School.
Over here, ma'am.
Oh, it's because yours has a little label.
It's because what?
I'm like, yours has a little label.
Oh,
How do they read?
You don't have a label.
Oh, it's okay. But I'm like, how are they?
Gracias. I forgot the label. I had to look right now when I
not sitting today.
Hasta otra silla, amigo.
Uh-oh. Okay, you could stand, Michelle. We're gonna do the Pledge of Allegiance. We got time.
Already did.
Let's go.
Oh, we already did it.
I feel low. I'm gonna have to. I feel like I'm lowered.
All right. Thank you for everybody's indulgence. We are on agenda item number 4. For the record, we have board members Dianel Martinez present, board member Michelle Molina present, and board member Gilbert Aguilar present for the record. Agenda item 4, public comments.
Yes, Mr. President, we have 10 public comments that signed up. I'll start with the first name in no particular order. We have Mr. Joey Reyes.
The Laredo lawyer, he's here. Mr. Tejas. Good evening, sir.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, trustees. And I was hoping that I wouldn't be the first one. I know that Coach Garcia and Coach Gonzalez and Mr. Omensky are here to speak on the same issue. I'm coming to comment, I believe, on item 5B, which is regarding discussion, the need for potential for solar lighting and at the high school football fields and/or band pads. And I think this is an extremely important item before you all. I can speak more intelligently regarding Alexander High School because I am the father of a past, present, and a future Bulldog. And I regularly attend practices and go. One of the issues regarding the practices in the morning, they try to start off as early as possible because they rely on the sunlight. And one of the issues, especially for the football team and the people you guys just honored, all the bands, is that they can start once the sun comes up, and then once it reaches a certain temperature, they got to shut it down. And in the summers, that's 9 a.m., 10 a.m. tops, if they're lucky. And then in the evening, they can't start if they want to start and take advantage of night practice, which many of us, me and your president's younger brother, when we played football together, we'd have 2-a-days. They're not allowed anymore. We could practice at night. In baseball, we practice at night, but we practice in baseball stadiums. These young athletes and artists don't have that ability. And I know there's a cheaper alternative of using these diesel engines that the sheriff's office had. They're mobile, they're nice, but they're loud. They require a lot of maintenance. The solar lighting is a one-time fixed cost. Maintenance is very cheap, and it can work at all the high schools. You've got, I'm a big fan of sports. We've had a lot of baseball players, get scholarships. We've had an onslaught of softball, volleyball, and Mr. Omensky, he's one of the first football players in many years. We have, in Laredo, we've had probably a handful of football players ever get scholarships to go play football. We've had plenty of baseball, other sports, but this is not necessarily just a sports issue. This isn't necessarily just a band issue. I think every band director would encourage and recommend that y'all do this. I get y'all have a budget of over $500 million, and I know everything's tight, but this is a safety issue. I think it's, there's issues every summer with injuries and heat-related, the way that heat affects you. And every trainer will tell you, the more tired you get, you're more susceptible to other injuries. And so I implore you all to please consider it, and I'll defer, I'm probably way over my time, but encourage you to listen to Mr. Omensky. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Next speaker, Mr. President, Mr. Edwin Garcia, discussing same lighting of fields.
Good evening, Coach. Good evening, Coach. Got you down for 3 minutes, sir. Good evening, members of the board. Dr. Cruz. My name is Coach Edwin Garcia. I'm an athletic coordinator and head football coach at Alexander High School. You know, Coach Carlos Gonzalez is here. He's the same position at United South High School, and as well as Coach Mireles and Coach Sanchez at United and LBJ High School. Our AD, Coach Bobby Cruz, who is out of town to a funeral, has been advocating for lights. And today, I am speaking to express my strong support for the installation of lights at our 4 high schools. With a growing number of student athletes and teams across our schools, this investment has become a necessity to address the challenges we currently face. Our neighboring school district passed a bond years ago to install lights to all their 3 high schools. Here are some of the key points underscoring the importance of this project. High school participation. Each of our high schools supports 5 football teams, resulting in over 20 teams. Middle school participation. Our 13 middle schools collectively have 30 football teams with larger campuses accommodating up to 3 teams each. Despite the 50 total football teams in the district, only 2 football fields, Sac and Kruger, are equipped with lights. You know, Kruger was built over 60 years ago, and there's a lot of issues that we have to deal with to fill those stadiums sometimes with those lights. Scheduling challenges. Some of our star varsity games, because of our middle schools, you know, now use Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We have to fit in all our sub-varsity high school games to one day, Thursday, sometimes Wednesday. And obviously, sometimes we can't use the SAC because our varsity games are Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays now because of our schools. All right. You know, health and safety. Installing lights would enable teams to practice during cooler, earlier morning hours rather than the heat of the afternoon, reducing the risk of heat-related illnesses among athletes. And nowadays, we have new protocols and new mandates that we can't get out of. When it reaches a certain level, we can't be out in the field, and some of our athletes have to be, you know, all of them are taken care of, so we can't be out in the sun. And so it's important for us to start earlier. In addition, not only for football, I think this is important to say, lights would benefit other sports such as track, cross country, soccer, baseball, softball, providing extended opportunities for our practices and games. Currently, by 5:45, 6 o'clock, it's pitch dark there at Alexander High School, and I think I can speak to all our campuses. It's a safety issue when we're having to try to get everybody out and our athletes, and it's only giving them about an hour practice, you know, so we're trying to make it fair for everybody. You know, as our district continues to grow, equipping campuses with lights has become essential to supporting our athletic programs and ensuring equitable access to safe, well-scheduled practices and games. Providing adequate lighting is not just a matter of convenience. It is a matter of safety, equity, and supporting the development of our student athletes. The installation of lights would positively impact countless students, families, and the community as a whole by fostering a safer and more efficient environment for athletic programs to thrive. Thank you for considering this critical improvement for our schools. I urge you to support this initiative and help ensure our student athletes have the facilities they need to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Next speaker, Mr. President, we have Mr. William Omerski, also an agenda item for field lighting.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, members of the board. I'm here to comment about the field lighting. You know, I think I can give an interesting perspective as a, you know, now former player of the program. You know, and any former football player can tell you the best parts about your career in high school, you know, further if you can go, is the time you spend with your teammates, whether that be at practice, games, locker room, weight room, all that, you know. And the issue that's, you know, pressing us now is the fact that we don't have enough time, you know, with the lighting and issues. Like, yes, we go in, we start 6:30 in the morning, 6:37, we're filmed, you know, and then the sun comes up, then we are able to practice. You know, in that allotted time, you can get a lot in, but, you know, there's more you can get in, you know, and you come to see it in some of these games. You know, we play the North Side District a lot, and, you know, they have more practice time. They got the lights on the fields. They got all that flashy stuff. And I feel like if we can get more of these kids out here, you know, we get the lights going, we have all this time, you know, we're building relationships, building bonds, becoming better teammates, you know, becoming better men all together, you know. And I think it's just a great thing to be able to play the sport of football. And what better way to encourage kids than, you know, give them a place to go. You know, we got practices, in the mornings, you could go nights, and especially for our younger too, we have the BFL teams, come and play over at the nights, and they can get a lot more done as well if we have the lights on the field. You can have the JV games. I have two brothers, freshman JV, and they have weird game schedules because use is on the field and everything like that. And if you can get the lights up, you can give them better experiences, better time, and overall just develop to become better people through the sport of football, which has helped tons and countless people, develop over to become great leaders in the community, become great men, all that, and I would just love to see more people turn out, loving the sport the way I do, creating the memories I did, and I feel very strongly about this, I loved my 4 years at Alexander High School. I thought it taught me everything I would need in life. It was a great time for me. I loved speaking with my friends, spending time, doing everything, with my brothers. Really, they're not teammates at some point. They become your brothers. And for more kids to experience that would be the greatest thing to me, to make an impact, something, I would love to do over here. I think it's a great thing, should get done, hopefully as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker, Mr. President, Ms. Claudia Gutierrez Sanchez, also an agenda item concerning field lighting.
Good evening, Dr. Cruz, honorable board members. I'm Claudia Gutierrez Sanchez. I'm not only a parent, but a cross-country soccer and track and field parent here at Alexander High School, UISD. I'm here to emphasize the importance of adding field lighting to our high school soccer and football turf fields at all main campuses, which offers a range of benefits that enhance student opportunities, community engagement, and safety. First, field lighting allows teams to practice and compete during evening hours, effectively extending usable time for the fields. This is particularly valuable for student athletes juggling academic and extracurricular commitments, as it provides more flexibility in scheduling practices and games. Additionally, evening games under the lights can foster a stronger sense of school spirit and community involvement. Families, friends, and supporters who may not be able to attend daytime events due to work or other obligations are more likely to participate in nighttime games, creating a lively and inclusive atmosphere. Field lighting also improves safety for athletes and spectators alike. Proper illumination reduces the risk of injuries by ensuring players have clear visibility, while attendees can navigate the facilities without hazards. Beyond athletics, these lit fields can serve as venues for other events, such as outdoor concerts, ceremonies, and community gatherings, further maximizing their utility. By investing in field lighting, the school demonstrates a commitment to enhancing student experiences, supporting extracurricular growth, and building a stronger connection with the community. This would be a great use of any leftover monies from the construction bond to ensure the safety and welfare of the children. Thank you for your time and serious consideration on this issue.
Thank you, Ms. Sanchez.
Thank you.
Next speaker, Mr. President, Mr. Edward de la Garza, and commenting on public comments and United High School hazing issues.
Good evening, sir.
Having grown up on the popular children's television show Sesame Street, today I bring to you the UISD edition, and the word of the day is indifference, which is to have a lack of interest, concern, or sympathy. Deliberate indifference is intentional disregard of safety or well-being of a person or a group of people, which is also the legal merit needing to be met to show culpability of a group or organization, such as a school board or superintendent not once having communicated with the parents of victimized students who seek answers and justice. 3 months have now passed. I spoke here last month, and still nothing. While I know you have no intention of doing so, I would ask please not to bother at this time to reach out, as the status quo has already been established. Deliberate indifference, such as October 31st, 2022, when Police Chief Aaron Salazar and his principal wife utilized district resources for an off-campus incident, not school-related, which should have been deferred to the Laredo Police Department, as we were made as parents to do by UISD police, was instead handled in-house, and arrests were made within only 15 days. For damages to their property amounting to only over $100, something so minor that Webb County records show that a bond was not even required for the perpetrators. Last Tuesday marked the 100th day since notification of our children being victimized was sent to UISD employees, and not an arrest has been made. Yet, how much taxpayer money was spent utilizing resources for their own cause, for their hurt pride as employees, and for UISD cannot seem to use those resources in the same expeditious manner to bring justice and to protect our children whose rights were violated. Yet, we stand here and we buy tacos and wine glasses with district money. Or a UISD employee arguing with a board member at the last meeting over the semantics of how many Title IX coordinators UISD has. Yes, there are two, one for 40,000 students and one for all the employees. Because staff members currently have a better ratio than students, which is wrong. TEA recommended academic counselor to student ratio is 1 to every 250. At United High School, the ratio is 1 to 350. Short 4 counselors to comply with that recommendation, and then you have the rest of the district. And while not having a strict ratio for LPCs, TEA recommends a 1 to 350 ratio. However, UISD currently sits at a ratio of 1 to 10,000. While not strict, that number doesn't even fall into the mildly acceptable category. But yet we sit here proudly, we posture and argue semantics, and buy tacos and wine glasses while our children become at-risk students. I would ask that you please grow up. We, the parents, the citizens of Laredo who voted you on promises that you have failed to keep, demand TEA be notified by you, the board. We demand UISD follow applicable policy and defer the hazing investigation to state law enforcement entity, which is not to be Webb County, due to conflicts of interest that exist between multiple UISD employees' families. For example, the UISD purchasing manager, who has her own conflicts of interest, her husband works for Webb County. 2 parents whose sons' cases to date have been rejected multiple times without reason by the Webb County attorney responsible for prosecuting juvenile cases. Your brother, Mr. Montemayor.
Already at 3 minutes.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
President.
You're over 3 minutes, actually, so wrap it up, sir.
Yes, sir. He has refused to prosecute that employee's son, while the district's attorney's office has accepted that charges for other boys and arrests have been made for the exact same crimes by the district attorney. In true Sesame Street fashion, sir, one of these things is not like the other. Parts of the UISD case from this hazing investigation will be sent to your brother once more, and not only will he be judged on how he handles it, sir, you as a president and leader of the board will also be judged. You know, as we do, that if his son, your nephew, who is a football player at United High School, had these things done to him, the troubles we have faced as parents would have never taken place and justice would have already been served.
Thank you, sir.
Next speaker, Mr. President, Mr. Onyx Benavides, concerning lighting for Alexander Football Field.
Good evening, Mr. Benavides.
Good evening. For the identification, my name is Onyx Benavides. I've been a resident of Laredo since 1983. I've had 4 daughters graduate from UISD, and shortly here a son. I'm here, Mr. President and the distinguished board members, to support the lighting for the football fields. I think that most everything has been said previous to me, but one issue was not brought up, and that is these young men give it their all, get up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, go practice, and then they have a game on the field without lights, and the JV plays prior to the varsity or whatever, or the JV plays later than the freshman, whatever it may be the schedule. And then their game starts, and the sun goes away, and they're penalized for not being able to finish their game. The issue of safety was brought up. Realized that 3 years ago, when Coach Garcia came in, there was 180 students that were playing football. Last year, for this season, there was 250. And right now, there's 280 this year. The numbers aren't going down, and I commend Coach Garcia for expanding the group. I served the Athletic Booster Board as a board member for the past 4 years, and we raise all kinds of funds to supplement what you all give them. And I understand budgets, believe me, I do. But when you see the discouragement in this young man's face who gives it his all in practice, to go play a game, 10 games, 8 games a year, practices every day, and then he's told, time out, the game's over, there's not enough light for safety reasons. That breaks my heart as it breaks their heart. But they don't give up in giving. They're hoping that you'll give them lighting. And Mr. President, I think you and I talked about this before.
Yes, sir.
It's very near and dear to my heart. It's just, thank you for what UISD does. I know it's a big endeavor. I've been involved in other committee meetings trying to get budgets and everything passed. And money is always an issue. And I understand that. But these kids deserve that lighting to encourage them to be better men tomorrow. Believe me, the last day I played football was 1965. And I was just telling coaches, I still smell the field. I smell the field house. I'm passionate about it because it's helped me through my life. When things go bad, I go back to a game where I did right or I did wrong and make an adjustment in the real life. It teaches them to persevere, to have the tenacity and the goal to move forward, to better themselves, to go to college, to have their own families and support their families. So I sat where you're sitting before, and I know the hardships that we have to go through. But if you would see the faces of these kids, each one of you would vote yes on the lighting. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next speaker, Mr. President, Mr. Valentin Ruiz, on public comments.
Valentin Valer Ruiz for the record. My number is 956-679-6770, in case any of you board members would like to speak with me, especially the parents that want me to advocate on things that are going on wrong in UISD. 5 months ago, a parent and a fellow veteran spoke out that there was no cooking supplies in a cooking class in Molina Middle School. The parent, expecting good news that the district bought the cooking supplies, instead, students were given more work to pass the STAR. I want you parents to know that students have a right to PE or extracurricular programs, okay? When you guys put these kids for more courses to pass their STAR, you're burning them out. That a lot of these kids are so burnt out that they don't even want to go to college. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men and women to do nothing or stay silent. Thank you, Mr. Victor Vasquez from Parent United and Daniel Martinez for talking about and exposing the issue with the wine glasses that cost $3,400 for 200. If you divide 200 by the amount, it's $17 each. But I looked in custom discount mugs, you can get embroidered or custom wine glasses for 89 cents, not $17 a wine glass like UISD paid. $17. Who got a cut in this? I know that I can go into Amazon and list my own business and sell stuff through Amazon. So somebody's getting a cut here. Somebody's getting it. The district defends the wrongdoings of Chief Aaron Salazar and Cordelia Flores Jackson, that vendors require good faith compliance and private contractors must adhere to the requirements in the proposal. In this wording, is this wording in the vendor and private contractors contract? I would like to know. Campus police work security as a side hustle. They know that the security guards require credentials, yet they remain silent. Why? Because they don't want to lose their job. That's why they stay silent. Now, on the issue of the forgotten athletic participants, the Gerald TC, you guys destroyed the only obstacle course, the nicest one you had in UISD. It's been a year since I spoke about this, and you have done nothing to replace it. They are also athletes. They don't have their own restrooms, they don't have their own showers, they don't have their own lockers, and they don't have a field to practice on. And certainly they don't have lighting the way athletics department requires, okay? You know, Mr. Gerardo Cruz, doctor, that we've advocated for this in LISD. So you know everything that entails. These kids is their only opportunity to go to college. To start off, they get over $150,000. They get free meals, they get housing, okay? They get insurance, they get health care, they get a dentist. How many football players or athletic scholarships give them all that?
Mr. Ruiz.
None.
You're over 3 minutes already.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next speaker, Mr. President, Mr. Jorge Mendoza on budget and principal.
I don't think I should be talking about this, but okay. Based on last time I came, I talked to Mr. Flores, asked me to email him on the debt that the school district has. So based on my little summary I came up with, and I came up that the school district owes about 500 million, okay? Which would be payable for another 20, 25 years, okay? And we incurred 16 million this year, so just this past January. So we do have quite a bit of liability, even based on our cash, that we only have 91,765 in our general fund, which would be used to cover our normal operating expenses. So I'm just stating the facts, okay? I have nothing against what the previous speakers had. So based on this summary, what I come up with is we shouldn't be really incurring any major project costs because you don't have any costs and you don't have any money. Your money has to be for operating expenses and to pay down your debt. How we get additional funds, hopefully the state of Texas give us more funds, and hopefully it's not raising taxes because a lot of the households cannot afford additional taxes. Okay, so that's all I have to say on additional our budget situation. I'm sure Ms. Martinez, Ms. Benavides and Mr. Flores can lead you in that. And basically on our principal selection, please pick the most qualified person. I don't know who you guys gonna pick, who's up there to be qualified. I have no bearing, my kids are graduated, they live out of town, so I really don't have anything to gain from saying anything, but all I have to say is we need the most qualified person because it's Alexandra, it's a high school, and the kids need directions, teachers need directions, athletic needs directions. We all need a very qualified person. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker, Mr. President, Ms. Kenya Villarreal on band-related issues.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Good evening, members of the board, parents, and members of the community. My name is Kenya Villarreal, and I currently serve as president of the John B. Alexander High School Band Parent Association. I'm here this evening to represent the parents of our esteemed organization and to express both our gratitude and concerns as dedicated supporters of our band program. As you have witnessed, we are deeply appreciative of the unwavering support provided by the members of our Board of Trustees, our administration, and the entire campus community. Their commitment has allowed our students to achieve success on local, regional, and state levels. And we are particularly grateful for the leadership of Ms. Oliveros and Mr. Montemayor during these years of growth. We sincerely thank you for your continuous support of our students and for your efforts to ensure the success of our campus and fine arts program. This evening, we understand that the board will be making a significant decision regarding the selection of the next principal for Alexandra High School. We trust that you will choose a leader who will continue to support and elevate our band program, advocating for the future of our children and the Bulldog Band. We are confident that you have thoroughly considered all the essential qualities required of a campus leader. At a time when negative perceptions of political influence, personal family connections, and favoritism are being gossiped. We hope that your decision reflects a commitment to an objective evaluation based on proven, consistent leadership. This leadership should ensure not only academic success, but also the continued growth of our band, fine arts, and athletic programs, maintaining the excellence that John B. Alexander High School is known for. As band parents, we're seeking reassurance that the candidate selected this evening has demonstrated a consistent presence and active support for the fine arts and band programs. We are confident that you would choose the best leader for our campus, one who will not only uphold our traditions, but also ensure a bright future for all of our children. Thank you for your time and consideration. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Last speaker, Mr. President, Ms. Elizabeth Rios on JB Alexander High School.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, members of the board, parents, and members of the community. For the record, my name is Elizabeth Rios, and I'm currently served as a band parent for the John B. Alexander High School Band Association. I stand before you tonight as a representative of the band parent community. Accountability is a cornerstone of the culture with the John B. Alexander High School. Under the leadership of Mr. Martinez and his directors, a culture of consistent excellence has been fostered, one that promotes both individual growth and collective success. We're deeply grateful for the continuous support from Ms. Oliveros and Mr. Montemayor, particularly through the use of discretionary funds, which has been instrumental in shaping this culture. Your assistance has been vital in ensuring the best of our students, and we cannot thank you enough for ongoing support. The success of our band program is the result of the hard work and dedication of our students, parents, campus and administration, faculty, staff, and community members like you. Thank you for continually reassessing the ways in which the board can further support and nurture this success, and ensuring the future generations can experience the same level of achievement that has been demonstrated over the years. We trust you that you will select a principal who will be a true champion for our exceptional musicians and performers. Students who have consistently showcased their excellence within the community, region, and at the state level for the past 8 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Agenda item number 5. That's it, Mr. Velez?
Yes, sir. That's no more comments.
Agenda item number 5, informational items. A, Superintendent's report.
Yes, good evening, board members. On behalf of the entire United ISD family, I would like to express our sincere gratitude and appreciation to each of you during School Board Recognition Month. As trustees, you generously volunteer your time and expertise, guiding UISD toward a brighter future. Your insightful discussions, thoughtful decisions, and unwavering support for our students, teachers, and staff create a positive and enriching learning environment. Your leadership ensures that our students receive meaningful educational experiences and opportunities to prepare them for college, careers, and successful lives beyond graduation. Thank you for your dedication, vision, and unwavering support for United ISD. This month, we are pleased to honor employees who consistently provide exceptional customer service through our United Cares program. This group of honorees has been recognized for their dedication and contributions to creating a welcoming and supportive environment for students, staff, and parents. A big congratulations to Christina Cuevas, attendance clerk at Troutman Middle School, Monique Godinez, teacher at Roberto J. Santos Elementary School, Elizabeth Garza, tax manager at the UISD Tax Office, and Ernestina Molina, LPAC clerk at Molina Middle School. On behalf of United ISD community, I'd also like to express our sincere gratitude to our incredible facilities and custodial staff. You exceeded the call of duty during the recent severe weather event. Despite the challenges and closures, you worked tirelessly to ensure the safety and security of our school buildings. Your efforts in weatherproofing our schools, even during inclement conditions, demonstrate your unwavering commitment to the well-being of our students and staff. Thank you to everyone who played a vital role in supporting our schools and ensuring a safe learning environment during this Arctic blast. Your dedication is truly appreciated. That concludes my report.
Thank you. All right, agenda item 5B, discussion regarding the need and potential for solar lighting of high school football fields and/or band pads.
Motion for approval. Second.
Except for information.
It's for information.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So
Sorry.
I reached out to some of the board members to sponsor this item, and I appreciate it, but I was at a meeting for the Webb County Commissioners, at the Webb County Commissioners Court, and there was a company presenting on the lighting of the parking area and the, I think it's 1848 now, former Life Downs. And they were discussing the high cost of solar light, of lighting, the conduit lighting with the wiring, but the idea was to bring in solar lighting. And so I thought this could be a win-win for our district, because the solar lighting was a lot less expensive than the regular electrical lighting. And so I talked to some of the board members. I know we have at least 3 high schools that don't have their fields lit. I want to say it's United, Alexander, and
LBJ.
LBJ. I think South may have their fields lit. So the parents have been reaching out for years on this issue because the availability of time for practice, for training, not only football but track, band as well. And so I wanted to see if the district could gather the costs, some different options for the district to consider, and we can bring this back at our next workshop to discuss and see if we can either find a way to achieve the lighting, and maybe we could start with how much it would cost for the football field versus the other areas, and grow into lighting the entire area. I'm not sure if any other board members have any.
I do have a comment. I think currently we do have a vendor who is doing something on what's the word when you start something off? A pilot, thank you. Doing a pilot program with solar lighting at some of our schools. Can that be expanded with that particular vendor that we're already working with?
Good afternoon. My name is Manuel Menchaca with the Energy and Environmental Department. That is correct, Ms. Oliveros. We have gone ahead and hired TESI, which is Texas Electrical Engineering Company. And basically what they did is they did a preliminary study on going ahead and upgrading the existing athletic fields lighting from HID, which we have right now, to LED. It is not actually solar. Okay? The main issue right here is the fact of by doing so, we would go ahead and considering going ahead and doing not only the football fields, tennis courts, marching bands. That study has been done, and the reason for this preliminary study was the fact is for us to be prepared so that when SECO, which is the State Energy Conservation Office, whenever they would go ahead and have funds available, that we would go ahead and be ready and apply for these funds. This past week, I've gone ahead and I've spoken, the president of the organization is actually Salim Khan. I spoke to him, and he is part of the committee for SECO also. And he is telling me that it looks promising that by the end of this month, SECO will be having funds that will be put on the street. And what he's saying is, us having done this preliminary study positions us in a very special situation that we can actually go ahead and fill the application, because the deal now here is that the application and the funds come out at the same time. So we cannot actually go ahead and pre-prepare the application, so as soon as it is announced that we can go ahead and submit it. I wish it was the case, because that way we could, but it's not the case. But we have done our homework by being prepared as to what will be needed. And in this case, we are addressing every single campus. The issue right here is that SECO would not, and I insist on this, they will not consider in the financing any kind of posts. In other words, like for instance, in this case, we have 3 of the high school football fields that do not have posts. They cannot do that. So that would have to be handled separately under a separate funding mechanism. But in this case, yes, we have that, and that I could go ahead and provide to the superintendent so he can make it available to you as to what areas we are covering. That just addressing your question. Okay, I hope it kind of clarifies it.
Have you all looked into the possible solar lighting yet?
I was asked to go ahead and look at that.
Mr. Matamoros, may I? When this agenda item was posted, I did meet with staff, and they are currently reviewing certain vendors and certain manufacturers to assess our needs. I mean, there is a science behind lighting. It's not just necessarily, hey, let's buy these lights. I know that they have to be spec'd out. There's certain vendors that we are researching now. We'll probably be reaching out to them to be sure that we get the best lighting for our needs. I do know that Mr. Peña has already been doing some of that research. Mr. Peña, would you care to enlighten the board on that?
And just for clarification, this item was just placed on the agenda, I want to say Thursday afternoon. So in all fairness to you all, it's very difficult to get all this information and prepare for a presentation. That's why I was wanting to carry this for the next workshop meeting. That way we'll be able to expand on pricing and on location and priorities like that.
Correct. So Alfonso Peña for the record, Director of Maintenance and Operations. The solar lighting project that the county has is for parking, which requires about 1-foot candle at the 3-foot level. In this case, for recreational and small spectating usage for a football field, it requires 30-foot candles. So in this case, you would require a large battery to be able to provide that power in the evening or in the mornings. So it does come with not just the post and a small battery at the head, but it requires a battery, large storage capacity battery, to be able to meet those needs.
Okay. And for the board workshop meeting, right, would you all be able to provide us with, I think this is great, right? We're thinking bigger picture into the future. I'm a sports mom, so I know the need is there. But would you be able to provide us with, and I'm just thinking money-wise, right? Yes, it's going to cost us, but I know there's going to be a grant. However, would we be able to get money back from the government in tax breaks or for being innovative or going green?
We could provide with the options. Now, it would have to meet their ROI. It might not with the solar light itself. It could, but when you're providing the storage battery, that might not be able to provide you that loan. But we could provide you with options as far as LED solar or just LED lighting. We could have that information ready for you guys.
Can you give us also a comparison between what it will cost through a regular electrical wiring and the solar?
there's going to be a difference, I know that. I think Mr. Garza had indicated it was about 1.8 million that per campus. I'm sorry, Mike, to put you on the spot, but.
Or maybe also just provide us like a pro and cons, which I'm sure there's going to be a lot of pros.
Yes, sir. You know, we did talk about it, and it really is a good idea that we hadn't explored in particular. But when we did do a study, it was about 1.8 million. I can't remember, I'm not going to lie. I thought it was for all 4 campuses, but it may have been per campus. So it was a prohibitive expense that we were looking at that time. But it was all 4? Yeah, it was all 4. Okay, so yes, I was right. So it was all 4. But that was a couple of years ago. So, you know, prices have gone up. And so we'd have to look at that. But we need to be able to do a comparison on both sides. I would caution the board that if we are going to be looking at athletic fields, that we probably need to look at the band area, you know, other areas as well, right? So that there's kind of like an equity type of situation there. But we can certainly look at all that together.
Yeah. No, I'm all in favor. And so I wanted to bring it up because the discussion has been ongoing for years now. And I think it's, you know, this last football season, I was getting called from booster parents about, you know, they wanted to rent out these machines with the lights and
generators,
and, you know, the generators and the diesel and all that. But that, you know, it just
Certainly the competition fields at the SAC and stuff require more sophisticated lighting. Practice field, probably not as much, but there are some requirements, some minimum requirements for safety.
Well, I think also it'll benefit, I'm just thinking, right, the middle schools, if we have that lighting there to kind of build a community as well and host the games there. And then it'll give the high schools more availability to use, right? So, I mean, I think this is great. Somebody mentioned the BayFL League. My son played with BayFL, and there was a year where they would practice at United, and us parents had to light up the field. So, I mean, that is just, you know, this is why this is very important, and I'm glad that this is being discussed because it's a step moving forward that's going to benefit not only our athletes, but everybody, you know, the band, everybody, cross country. So if you all could just provide us with that information, you know.
And just
Thank
I know it's time consuming, right? It takes about 6 months to a year, maybe, if we get lucky. So I think it's good that the board is actually looking into doing this and have it as soon as possible.
And just for food for thought, the SECO loan that Mr. Menchaca was mentioning, it's an actual loan. It's a very low interest loan, and the whole purpose behind it is you're supplanting the energy that you would normally spend, and that savings is what pays the loan off. So
Okay,
how it
that's
works.
good. Yeah.
So in the interim, because it is going to take a while.
Yes.
What's the remedy? Should we do those generators that are very loud? Because parents having to light up the field
Yeah.
is not acceptable.
Nope.
I guess we probably just need to come back with y'all with a proposal and then either move forward with it and try to figure out something.
yeah, if you could talk to us on, I guess in the February workshop, you know.
Are the Cougar field lighting working?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Well, I think it shuts off, right? Like at a certain time or,
No, we have a couple of lamps that need to be replaced, but it is operational. Yeah.
and at the high schools, they do shut off at a certain time. At
The high schools do not have lights right now.
No? Oh,
Except
okay.
South.
Okay.
The only one that has is the United South High School.
Yes, sir.
Okay, at night.
And just for reference, United South Lighting was the old lighting at Kruger. So they moved those poles over when they were obsolete.
Wow.
And so just to kind of put it in perspective.
So we will need changes in all.
They're not brand new.
All our campuses.
Yeah,
Okay.
they would probably be required all 4 campuses.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for everyone who spoke on this as well. All right, I'm on agenda item number 6, consent agenda.
Motion for approval?
I'd like to bring one consent agenda item for individual discussion.
Will you second so we can do that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Which one are
So
you
you have a
talking-
motion, a second, and she's asking to bring up an item.
Which one?
You don't need a motion to bring
No?
the item out.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. No
problem.
Learning.
Letter A, monthly disbursements.
All right.
So what do we do since there's already a motion?
Yeah, we can just discuss it in discussion.
Okay, so we're going to move consent agenda item A to the, I guess, to the individual consideration
To the
items.
individual
And
consideration.
Is there a motion to approve
Motion to approve the
B
rest.
through G?
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve items 6B through G There's a motion second, any discussion on that?
No.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, we have agenda item 7, items for individual consideration. Agenda item A, approval of donations.
Yes, donations. A donation by Laurel Insurance Agency and Associates in the amount of $4,170 to go towards the 2025 Spain Study Abroad program. A donation by the United High School Baseball Booster Club, the amount of $2,599 to go towards the baseball team student activity count to purchase equipment. A donation by Curriculum Associates iReady in the amount of $1,500, 50 Amazon gift cards for the reading intervention teachers' participation in the Adaptive Pilot Spanish Assessment Research Study. A donation by the Borchers Elementary School PTC Booster Club in the amount of $1,577 to go towards campus needs and student incentives. A donation by the United High School Football Booster in the amount of $1,260 to go towards the student athletic trainers activity count to purchase equipment. A donation by Agrosea Foundation Hardship Grant in the amount of $1,000 to go towards United High School Robotics Team student activity count to purchase equipment. A donation by the Distro Health Plan in the amount of $1,000 for the Spirit of Giving event, which benefits our McKinney-Vento migrant and foster care students. We had 2 other donations under $1,000 for a grand total of $14,046.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion, second?
Motion and a second, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. B, approval of board minutes for the month of November 2024.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. C, resolution authorizing the issuance of United Independent School District Maintenance Tax Notes Series 2025, entering into a purchase and investment letter and paying agent registrar agreement and other matters related thereto.
Good evening, members of the board, members of the audience. We're bringing, Lada Benavides, for the record. We're bringing this maintenance tax note. We have Robert Tijerina from our financial advisor. Really, the sale of the notes happened yesterday, so this is to solidify the transaction with the information we got from the sale. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Tijerina.
Thank you. Thank you, Lida. Mr. Montemayor, board members, Dr. Cruz. For the record, Robert Tijerina, District's financial advisor, and there is a hard copy I passed out earlier. Also with me this evening is Mr. Dan Martinez of Winstead. He is co-bond counsel for the school district. If you turn to page 2, we listed the projects that were presented to the board back in December. The projects were provided to us by staff. We have maintenance improvement projects, about $10.5 million. We have campus technology for about $5 million, athletics for about $140,000, giving us a grand total about $15.7 million. And we have estimated cost of issuance about $90,000 for a grand total of maintenance tax note financing, $15,825,000. Now, before I go on to page 3, I'd like to inform the board that last year, the board paid off a maintenance tax note financing. It was Series 2009. The original amount that was issued was $17.4 million. The district paid that off last fiscal year with the last bond payment. This current fiscal year, the district will be paying off 2 additional maintenance tax notes financing. Series 2019 was issued originally. It was refunding about $3.5 million. And we had the Series 2020, the original issue amount was $6.4 million. Both of those financings will be paid off this fiscal year. So again, from left to right, we have the current outstanding debt on the M&O side, principal, interest, and total. In the center of the page, we have the maintenance tax note Series 2025 financing. Yesterday, we received roughly 5 bank bids. The lowest interest rate, the winning rate, was 4.43% from Webster Bank. It's a fixed interest rate over 15 years. So we have the principal and interest and the total amount. roughly averaging about $1,475,000 a year. And on the second to the right, starting from the right, total debt service payment, we have $8.8 million for this current fiscal year, and you notice the drop, and those are the financings that have been paid off, one last year and the two this year, and that's why we have that drop in the total debt payment. And again, this is the district's existing maintenance and operation, maintenance tax notes financing, a total financings of about 7. So if you turn to page 4, the timetable, again, this all started out officially December the 10th when we presented the information to the business committee and we brought it back to the board on December the 18th. And this evening was, since the bank bids were due yesterday, as Ms. Benavides stated, the board needs to take action approving the financing as final, given the interest rates and the term. And if this item is approved, the district will receive the funds on Thursday, February the 20th. And the resolution that is provided in front of you, I guess in the information on the laptop, was prepared again by Mr. Dan Martinez Winstead, co-bond counsel for the district. If you turn to page 5, we have the financing team. We have the school district, United Independent School District, financial advisor, co-bond counsel, Winstead PC, and CRD Law Group. We have the placement agent, FHN Financial, First Horizon National, and the purchaser, paying agent, is Webster Bank. They're the ones with the 4.43% interest rate, and their attorney counsel is Gilmore and Bell. I know it's a lot of information provided to the board. If there's any questions for myself or Mr. Martinez?
No
Any questions?
No questions.
Thank you for the work, Mr. Tejanina, and your
Yes, sir.
team. Our administrative team also putting the projects together. I think this is going to be something that's going to allow us to tackle a lot of the existing things that are out there that need replacement or additions. Thank you very much.
Was there any other bank that came close to the 4%?
We had one bank that came to 4.54%, so 10 basis points. The range was 4.4 to 4.9, I believe. Let's see, 4.99%, just below the 5%.
So you would consider 4 pretty good?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, absolutely. Given what the market has done, I believe everybody has seen what's been going on since interest rates have dropped officially through the Fed in September. They have lowered interest rates, but the market is reacting the other way. They're increasing. So since September, the market, the 10-year Treasury note, which is our benchmark, has gone up pretty much over 125 basis points.
And
So
you said
again,
locked in for 15 years?
locked in for 15 years, 4.43%.
Pretty good.
And with the opportunity down the road to refinance if needed.
Okay.
That's
Thank you very much. And I see a lot of AVAC, a lot of replacement. I know that's one of the issues for the campuses, and there's a lot of campuses that are getting replaced, so that's good.
I know.
Absolutely.
On my campuses, it's already going up, the playground at Mueller, so stuff like that. And I see it all in here, so I appreciate all the hard work that you're doing, including our administration staff, so thank you.
Very welcome. We're just a small part of this. The heavy lifting is Dr. Cruz, Ms. Benavides, Mr. Flores, your assistant superintendents. All we did was put this together, Mr. Martinez and I, and co-bond counsel. We're just a small part of the team. They did all the heavy lifting.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you
Motion
so
to
much.
approve.
There's a-
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes. Thank
I
you,
want to
sir.
thank the board for allowing us to represent the district as your financial advisor and co-bond counsel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you do. Thank you.
Right, D, resolution to approve employee compensation for the 2-hour delayed start on January the 7th, 2025, and emergency campus closure of Clark Middle School on January the 9th, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion?
No, just-
Dr. Cruz?
Yes, this resolution is in place to pay employees and who need to get paid because of the closures that we had. As you know, during the Arctic blast, we did have a closure, so it becomes necessary to be sure that we get board approval to pay the individuals for that day.
Absolutely.
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll be back next month for this week's.
Okay.
Yes.
No more art class.
Yes.
We're done.
E, requests from board members in reference to the use of trustee discretionary funds for various campuses and departments.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion, Mr. Garza? Any
Sir,
new-
there's no additional request other than what was submitted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Discussion and possible action regarding the Alexander High School student parking requirements and increasing capacity.
Yes, Mr. President, for this item, currently we did do an assessment of the Alexander parking lot for students. There are currently 341 spaces. 25 students are currently on a wait list. We do understand that students are parking along the Kalady neighborhood. We did reach out to rather the City Council and Laredo Police Department did reach out to us notifying that they were going to be having more patrol out there to be sure that cars that are parking there are in compliance. I do know that some vehicles were cited for parking in the wrong direction, blocking driveways and or blocking other areas. This is something that we've been working with the City Council. We do have some proposals. Currently, we're looking at the corner of Bulldog Boulevard and Del Mar to be utilized as a parking lot, a temporary parking lot. I think this is something that is feasible, something that can be done. But there are some permits that we're going to have to be working with the City of Laredo to ensure that this temporary parking lot does get passed. I know that we have an engineering firm, or RFP rather. We're going to have an engineering firm go out there, survey the area, assess, and give us a cost proposal and how that particular area can be utilized for temporary parking. I know that Mr. Peña has also been researching this item. Mr. Peña, would you care to provide any additional details?
Correct. So we are expecting bids, or actually proposals from KCI Engineering this 24th of Friday. So we do have enough space to accommodate the parking, the needed parking, 60, 70 spaces, right next to the agricultural building on the northeast corner of the property.
So, okay. So I was part of a conversation with Dr. King, Tyler King, on this issue. He was basically seeking United's assistance in addressing the parking issue that exists in front of Alexander and along the highway, along Del Mar Boulevard, sorry. There's a lot of cars that park into the residential area. Now, we don't know if those students are parking there because they don't have the requirements to park inside the parking lot. Maybe they're unlicensed, maybe they have no insurance. We don't know, but I think one of the solutions that we threw out there was creating additional space for them and doing another parking lot. The city informally, and I say that carefully, they informally agreed to work with the district and help cover some of the costs of developing that parking lot. I know that there's also been discussions with Mr.
Business
Arguindegui
owners
on the
across the street
private,
from Alexander.
yeah, the private company, the private, I think they own like the yoga and the
Orange Theory.
Orange Theory and all that area. And students park there as well.
And they
so-
had to get creative so that, because it would clutter their parking lot. So, they had to get creative and managing that because it became a safety issue as well. So I appreciate this item coming up. I know there's a lot that we need to do. There's a lot more that we can do, including that parking spot or that parking space that we're going to be developing for our students. And that's possibly not enough. So we still need to be a little bit more creative and partner up with the city and any other entity or business owners that are looking to help us out.
Understood. The campus did mention they have a need for 60 or 60 people on the waiting list. The intent is to make accommodations for 60 and maybe add 10% more for a little bit of growth, perhaps take it to 70. But we will be willing to work with the city. Again, KCI Engineering is going to be conducting the code assessment. They did mention that there is not a need for a permit since it's within our property. So that is a plus, Dr. Cruz and members of the board. There is no need, it's not off-street parking, it's within our loop. So that is a plus.
Yeah, because the last thing we need is our students to get cited for anything while they're in school. So let's work towards that. Appreciate you.
And it is a busy road. I think more for the safety, crossing the roads and all stuff like that. bringing them in our campus. I think, you know, we all parents, we want to make sure our kids are safe. So
So we'll have a more thorough presentation at the workshop, is that correct?
I guess,
What do we approve tonight?
Yes,
This
we'll
is
have a
just
more
discussion.
thorough, provide more additional information at the board workshop in February. As a matter of fact, the RFP deadline is this Friday, if I'm correct. So we should be receiving that information. Staff will work through it and provide different proposals. I do want to say currently students who are parking in any of our parking lots and any of our facilities, or rather high schools, they do require a driver's license and they do require insurance in their name. So that is part of our student code of conduct. So that has sometimes prevents many of our students from not parking in our property. That's why we see that right now at Alexander High School. It is a safety issue because they are parking across the street in Kalady. They are crossing a busy section, Del Mar. So certainly this is something that we have to find a solution for safety and to secure our students.
Motion approved.
second.
a motion and second to improve the, increasing the capacity at Alexander High School with regard to parking. There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right, motion passes. Thank you. Agenda item number 8, closed session. The time is currently 7:46 PM.
Mr. President, are we going to discuss?
Oh, I'm sorry, I
Oh, we
apologize.
have one item.
Yes,
for
the monthly disbursements item.
I apologize. So agenda item, we're going to go back to the approval of monthly disbursements that has been moved to the items for individual consideration.
Ms. Cabello.
There's a motion. Is there a motion to approve?
I have a question.
Let me
So-
just get a
oh,
motion to
sorry.
approve.
Motion.
Sorry.
There was a motion. there was
Second
a
for
second.
discussion.
Discussion. Okay, Ms. Martinez, go ahead.
Okay. So the question that I have is, I requested several invoices from the disbursements that we received. And there was one that caught my attention because a disbursement was made out to Iglesia Cristiana. Now, I'm only questioning it because, as we know, the monthly registers online that the public is able to see, right? It gives it very vague. So I'm just covering the basis, right? Because I don't want any staff employee or any UISD employee to then be blasted on social media or for there to be a misinterpretation of things, right? So again, as board members, we do have to monitor district finances to ensure that they're properly maintained. So my question is that Iglesia Cristiana Visión Vida Incorporated, why did we go with a religious organization? Are they a vetted vendor, or is there a reason behind that? Just because I don't want anything to be misconstrued for what it's not.
For the record, my name is Rosa Cabello. This transaction, for food transactions, we do not have RFPs for those.
Okay.
We can go to a vendor who caters. So that's the reason why it went to Iglesias. I don't know if there's any other.
Because of the cost involved in catering, we don't go out for an RFP. We guide our departments and our campuses to be, cognizant of the fact that they're using district funds, but to be careful with the caterer that they're choosing, that they have the proper permits and things of that nature. That's the kind of guidance we give our campuses. We don't tell them, this is a list of approved caterers. So, this time of the year, right, people choose local caterers, right, to support us in those different events that are going on throughout the district.
Yeah, and I know that I did see it was for a central office faculty and staff end of the year, which is, it's great, right? Like I've said before, it's really good to reward our employees, right? Especially in these types of seasons like the Christmas, the Thanksgiving, teacher appreciation, right? But that was just my question, because I do know that it's a religious organization, and if you do go on their Facebook, they're selling these tamales for the benefit of remodeling their roof. So now you said that you give them guidance, you give these departments guidance. Your department gives the campuses or whoever, and they end up choosing, right? So that's where I was like, okay, because I know there's probably going to be a question out there, so I wanted
Right.
to clear that out.
And the other thing, Ms. Martinez, we also, before we can disperse a check, we ask for a W-9, so they have to have a W-9 submitted to us with an ID number so that we are allowed to give a check to that vendor.
Perfect. And do you also require, like the food handlers, if they have like industrial kitchens, just because again, looking out for the health concerns of our employees, right? We don't want 50 of our employees to be with E. coli at the hospital or something.
I would think, yes, that we do at least, when somebody says they're catering, that we do ask them for some kind of confirmation. I don't, we try to get more reputable caterers and instead of just the little mom and pops all over the place. But the other thing, the guidance that we also give is when they're gonna spend so much money on a meal, we kind of give them the guidance. We don't say it has to be this amount. We say, try to stay within our per diem amount, and y'all know how much that is, right? So it's not gonna be a lot of money spent, but it's a guide so that they don't
overdo it. And
Yes.
what's the per diem?
It just depends. It'll be maybe something like $9 for breakfast, $15 for lunch. But it also, there's so many different rules from the IRS that it makes your head spin. But so again, that's the guidance we give. Even for our student meals, we give guidance. So everything has a guide to it, and that's where we train our staff when they're gonna be ordering these types of services.
Okay, so I just want to make it clear, everything was legal, there's no favoritism of anything. It was just, because I do know that religious organizations, if they're incorporated, right, then they're businesses, technically.
Right.
So, okay,
Yes,
perfect.
and they would
Just
have to
wanted
provide that W-9 to us. for us
Perfect,
to-
just wanted to clarify that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any
There was
further-
another one, sorry. There was another one that I looked over. So this is another, just because I've heard, right, from public comments, and then now hearing the need of the solar lighting, right, and things that our students really need. There was another one, and this is just a question that I have. Again, I don't have any issue with the purchasing of food. However, I did see there was there was an event, a United Council of Parents, which there was an order of 75 chilaquiles servings, but only 26 people attended the event. So here I'm thinking, being frugal, right? Is there any way that we can manage that, or do you all require like not an RSVP because that's not your department, but just guidance to?
I think we order hoping, right, that our parents are able to make the meeting. And I think, federal programs, they'll look at their past attendance, right? So it just probably was one of those events that our parents were not able to attend. But we really would, hope that we have enough for those that do, show up.
Okay, and
Yes.
maybe this is a discussion that we can have later to maybe choose child nutrition or something.
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. I really
no problem.
appreciate all the work that you all do. And thank you for providing the invoice.
If I can, I could want to comment on this particular item. I've been made aware of different purchase orders and invoices, as I begin to settle into the superintendency. There's certain issues that I have been addressing, and this is one that I have addressed already regarding reasonable purchases. There are now controls in place, which are going to be in place and instituted very soon regarding the approval of our purchases. These purchases have to be reasonable and in line with the campus improvement plans and district improvement plans. So I do want to tell the board now that yes, there were going to be different controls in place, different individuals and persons on the approval process, reviewing the purchase orders that are coming through. And if items are unreasonable, they're going to have to be justified. And the answer, of course, will be no. And that's something that we're just going to have to grow into to be sure that we are doing our fiduciary responsibility to make sure that all the finances are in line and appropriate. So that I do want to go on the record for that certain controls are going to be in place now.
Thank you.
And for the record, do we have what's called like I was just reading up online, the purchase order matching, where our purchase orders that we receive, that they match our invoices? Do we have that protocol?
Like reconciling?
Yes, just because I did see discrepancy on one of them that I did
I
receive.
think right now it's just the check register. It's not
Yeah.
tied to the PO.
Right now, there are some situations where people do an estimate on their purchase orders. They try to get as close as possible to what the actual final cost is going to be. One perfect example, I think, is Sam's. I think. What happens is then accounts payable, when they actually get the invoice, they have to match it with that purchase order. And of course, if it's a real big discrepancy, I think more than 10% or so, they do call the department user. But more than likely, they do match it with the purchase order. So everybody's required to use a purchase order for those types of purchases, and they can use an estimate, even an estimated quantity. So that's where, again, that training that we give them. And then, of course, our staff that actually pays the invoices, right?
And I do know that you have on-site approval, right? Like, for example, the special ed department has on-site budget, like the purchase order approval, or?
Right.
What?
So
Okay.
once a purchase order is issued, we do ask the user department to receive online. Like, they have to go into the system and receive, and tell us that they've received the items, right? And then that's way accounts payable knows that it's an okay to move forward on paying the invoice.
Oh, okay.
Like a
But the
checklist.
purchase order matching, I do know that sometimes, right, you can get a coupon or something like that, so it'll be off, right? But the description of the item has to be exact to what is on the purchase order?
We try to, we do encourage them to get as close as possible to what they're ordering. I mean, sometimes maybe Sam's is out of something and they substitute it with something similar. So that, it's an estimate, and it's kind of like an estimate of, okay, this is what you're going to go pick up or go buy.
Yeah.
So.
But let's just say for Amazon, because I know that's a big one that's used with the district, right? Do we have some sort of like checks and balances in the sense of, I know that in Amazon, they give you kind of like it's an ASIN number, right? Like a product number. And so is there any way for you all to check that ASIN number is there? Like on the purchase order?
We're
It's just
hoping.
that I'm not sure if I'm able to discuss this because I was given this, but it's all the way from August and we're in December, so I don't.
Right, so on an Amazon order, right, we expect the user department to be real specific, and remember, the order is being placed with Amazon, so we are expecting them to try to tie it as well as possible.
Like a checklist, right? Just
Yes,
checklist.
yeah. I mean, just because I'm just looking out for you all, right? I mean, I know finance is a lot of work, and so, again, I hate to see when people get blasted on social media for things that are not true.
So Amazon is a little bit different than our other vendors. So Amazon is kind of one of our e-commerce vendors. The end user creates their cart online, and then the purchase order gets generated. Once the purchase order is approved, then the end user releases their cart with the PO number.
Oh.
So that way there can be no misinterpretation of what they're ordering. With a regular PO, an end user could mess up and put the wrong number, like for pens, they put item 12345 instead of 1345, but the description helps the vendor know that it's black pens that they want. If the vendor has a question, they normally send an email and say, I need clarification on this item, and then the clerk at our office will forward it to the vendor, to the end user, and say, what did you mean? The vendor's not understanding this particular item.
Perfect.
Okay, I
So every order is different,
Yes, yeah. No, but
I'm understanding what Ms. Martinez is saying, and I'm thinking of the county. And if the person who places the item is not allowed to check off, like you said, on the computer, that item arrived. So the checks and balances for, let's say I ordered a jacket that cost $15, and then I ended up getting one that cost $25, and it's a different item. So the person who ordered it, so that there's no suspicion of fraud, right? So there's no suspicion of anything. The person who placed the order is not the person who's allowed to say, yes, we received it, to check it off with the description and say, yes, it's here. It has to be somebody else.
So, yes and no. There are orders that are shipped to the warehouse directly, and so when it's shipped to the warehouse checks off that's what they received. So it's not the person that ordered it. at the campus or department, it's not necessarily, say, I order pens. The person in my office that's responsible for ordering is the one that checks off that things were received. The same is for campuses. So I'm a teacher and I place an order. I give my order to the secretary to input it in the system and get it approved by the principal. When it comes in, the secretary is the one that, yes, I received it, and they go give it to the teachers in their classrooms. So, it kind of depends on the order.
Right.
And what about the special ed department? Do they go to the warehouse or do
Well,
they
it
go to the Sheriff
depends.
Center?
If the order is being shipped directly to the warehouse checks it off. If the order is being shipped directly to their department, whoever in their department orders also receives.
Okay, perfect.
So
Thank you.
in regards to we've taken a lot of hits for it, the wine glasses that were ordered, how did that happen?
Honestly, the order was inputted by the end user, and it was approved at all levels at some point.
Am I able to discuss something about the wine glasses or no? Because,
I don't know if that's part of the monthly disbursements for today, but
yeah, so
certainly
that's
if
why
y'all
I'm
want to
like
talk
trying
about
to be
it.
careful.
If y'all want to talk about it at the workshop, we'd be more than glad to. Y'all
Okay.
can put it up.
Yep.
Workshop's good.
Yeah, thank you.
Workshop's good.
All right.
Thank you so much, Ms. Jackson. Thank you.
So on this item, all those in favor of the monthly disbursements after the discussion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I will abstain, just for the reason that, that I did see several discrepancies.
Okay. One abstention by trustee Martinez. Agenda item number 8, closed session. The time is currently 8:02 p.m. In accordance with Texas Government Code, sections 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, and 551.076. The board will discuss items 8A through 8B. No action will be taken in closed session. We are in executive session. Thank you. Right, the time is now 9:02.
9:22.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right, 9:22. We are back from closed session. The board has reconvened, and we are now in open session. For the record, no action was taken in closed session. I'm going to move, I'm going to go to agenda item 9C, because some board members need to leave. Action regarding the appointment of John B. Alexander High School principal.
Yes, at this time, I recommend Ms. Rosana Arizola for the principalship at JB Alexander High School.
All right, is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion.
Discussion.
Discussion. Go ahead.
I just want to say before I vote that this is a very difficult vote for me, not because I have anything against the recommended candidate, but because I received a lot of input from parents. I received a lot of input from current staff at the high school, and that, I just want to state that for the record before I make my vote. My vote is based off of that input.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Motion to second.
I just want to say that, you know, we had very highly qualified candidates. It was a very difficult decision. We had very highly qualified candidates. And I'm here to support our superintendent and the decision to do what's best for that campus. So, thank you.
I just want to say for the record as well, you know, again, very difficult choice, right? We do have to follow the superintendent's recommendation. However, we do also have to take into consideration the input from the community, right, and from the staff. So, you know, I'm the same like Ms. Flores.
So, call for the vote. All those in,
No.
all those in favor of the recommendation signify by saying aye.
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 All those against?
Aye.
Aye.
3 against, 4 motion carries. Congratulations, Ms. Arizola.
Congratulations.
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 Agenda item number 9A, possible action with respect to the lawsuit by Potential Holdings LLC 111 against United Independent School District regarding the UISD Student Activity Complex Educational Support Center, plat filed on record, volume 21, pages 43 to 44 of the Webb County Plat Records, and the UISD Las Cruces School plat filed in volume 18, page 55 of the Plat Records of Webb County, Texas, and Santa Claudia Lane and Santa Monica Drive within the UISD SAC plat and matters incident thereto, including legal options available to the district. The suit was filed in the District Court of the 111th Judicial District of Webb County, Texas, under cause number 2023 CVG 151D2. That's a lot.
Yes, Mr. President, the recommendation on that item is to proceed as discussed, or to authorize legal counsel to proceed as discussed in closed session.
All those in favor signify by saying
Do we
aye.
have a motion?
I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve as
Second.
presented.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Agenda item 9B, possible action regarding the approval of UISD board operating procedures.
Yes, Mr. President, my recommendation on that item is to table it to the next board meeting so that the board is able to discuss it.
So moved.
Second. All those, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye to tabling.
Aye.
Aye.
And last agenda item 10, adjournment.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Second.
We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you.